Hey everybody, welcome to Stuff, among other things, where we talk about stuff.
And other things.
I'm Nick.
I'm Bruce.
And today we're going to talk about everyone's favorite thing, even though they say, no, it's not my favorite thing. Food.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I love food. I'm so fat, I love food. Oh my god, it's the best.
Yeah, it really is, man. You have to do it all the time. I don't know. I'm here and there, and we'll get into my opinions on it a little later.
Yeah.
But first, as normal, we're just going to kind of tell you a little bit about ourselves, so you kind of get an idea of where we're coming from. We got some of our favorite dishes in mind, and I'm actually going to take the lead on this one. We're going to give you some different ideas. I'm going to start with breakfast. As far as favorite breakfast foods go, and the task here was to try to get a couple different versions of different meals, and this was the only one I could really get three of was breakfast. Apparently I'm one of those guys. I'm the guy
here
that goes to not Denny's, goes to Bob Evans or something.
Well, fun fact, whenever me and you traveled back from Alaska, we ate breakfast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That's right.
Every single day for a week straight.
It was like a dozen eggs per person per day.
It was amazing. I was so happy. Yeah. I missed that.
That was good.
Not the road trip, the breakfast food.
Yeah, the breakfast food with reindeer sausage. So as far as breakfast goes, speaking of sausage, there's just certain things I prefer, and probably my favorite breakfast food, and this is why I look like a biscuit, is because I love sausage, gravy, and biscuits. That down home southern style thing. I have a lot of southern folk in my family, and it definitely came down through to me. Love me some sausage, gravy, and biscuits.
I do too.
It's god awful for you. It's just flour and slightly different flour and fat. But it's so good.
Anything with gravy is amazing.
Yeah, that's really it. Like just throw the gravy on it, and it's good now.
I mean, you can put gravy on anything. You can put it on, biscuits, ice cream. I'll take it in a glass of water. Yeah. I don't care. It's gravy.
Yeah, you pour gravy over cactus. I'm going to get a knife and fork out, and I'm going to do my best.
Give it the good old college try, as it were.
Yeah. Also, big fan of Belgian waffles, and actually, little side note, I have your mother to thank for that.
Really?
Yeah, years ago when we were tykes running around and being terrible children, your mom used to give, bake us, or, make us, I guess you could say, Belgian waffles for dinner, at your house, and I'm like, this is the bomb, like, this is so much better than Eggo. And never looked back, actually, so love me that. And then just eggs in general. I like eggs.
Eggs are so good.
As long as the white's not runny, I'm one of those, like, I'm an over medium guy.
I'm a scrambled dude.
Yeah, you prefer scrambled? I enjoy some yolk every once in a while, but I can't have the runny white. And I feel like nobody knows how to order eggs. Everybody does the over easy thing, and then they get it and they're like, it's not done enough. I'm like, well, you ordered the wrong thing. But, I like scrambled as well. So those are my breakfasts. What do you have as far as your preferred breakfast food?
Well, number one, sausage, gravy, and biscuits.
Nice, that is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, of course it has to be sausage, gravy, and biscuits. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm all about the Southwestern omelets.
Oh, okay.
I love Southwestern.
So we're
omelets.
talking like onions and peppers and whatnot.
To an extent, more or less like jalapenos and like getting towards the spiciness of it.
Yeah.
And going along with that, rounding up my top three, breakfast burritos.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I love breakfast burritos. Like it's any excuse to use hot sauce and salsa.
Yeah.
You could pretty much use it on anything, but it's like they were designed to be, I don't know, like a device to be entered into your face.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's prepackaged and ready to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's good.
You can even get them at McDonald's, and they're not half bad.
Yeah, I mean they're not half good, but they're not half bad.
I think they're like 3 million calories, but it's only like $1.50.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you're getting a lot of flavor for your dollar or for your penny.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about lunch? What do you dig for lunch?
Well, number one, pizza.
Nice. Okay.
Of course, you can use pizza for breakfast or dinner.
Yeah.
Or, any snack at all. Number two, any type of Chinese food, really.
Okay.
I can really go crazy for General. Is it General Tso? General So?
I say So's.
I say So's
and
too.
You guys can tell us. Let us know. Is it So's? Is it Sal's? I've heard multiple variations of that, but exactly. I say So's.
But any type of lo mein, doesn't matter. Any type of Chinese, I'm going to dig it.
Okay.
And burgers and fries.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I mean, there's a million different excuse me, variations that you could possibly do.
Right.
You know, you can do, a Southwestern burger where you're gonna have barbecue sauce and onions and this and that. Or you can do more or less like a bistro one.
Oh, yeah.
Lettuce, tomato. It all depends on how you're feeling that day.
Yeah, you can get like a brioche bun, like a sweeter brioche bun, and it's got like a breakfasty feel to it. Yeah.
And same thing with the fries. You can do, regular fries. You can do like a boardwalk fry.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy doing sweet potato fries.
Yes.
I think they're amazing, Curly French fries, like, Arby's is an example.
Waffle. Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit.
Exactly. There's a potato for everything.
Yes.
And ferment it. Drink it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But how about you? What's your favorite lunch foods?
So not really much of anything, honestly. I looking back at your list, I actually had nothing wrote down until you said it. I'm like, oh my god, I love burgers and fries. I'm an idiot. I don't know why I didn't write that down. So yes, that's the one thing that is on my list is burgers and fries. But one thing that I don't care for, and I know this is supposed to be a list of favorites, but I'm not a soup guy.
I'm not either, but I can definitely dig a chowder.
Not me. There's like two soups that I can eat, and it's potato or tomato, oddly enough, which I don't actually even really care for tomatoes, but I like tomato soup for some reason.
It's okay as long as you have crackers to go along with it.
Yeah, I have to have like a half a sleeve of crackers crushed up.
Easily.
Yeah, so the old soup and sandwich, lunch specials and stuff like that doesn't really do it for me.
I hate the idea of drinking your dinner.
Yeah, that's my issue. It's like, I don't know, it's a lot of work too.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, not much for lunch, but burger and fries, that's a big staple for me. That's, I could definitely work on that. As far as dinner goes, I didn't come up with much on that one either, to be perfectly honest. I didn't realize how little I knew about how much I liked the food or not. I'm like, I love food. I can talk about food. And then I start writing it down and I'm like, I don't know.
We don't know anything about food. We love food. Remember whenever we used to put a whole stick of butter on Pop-Tarts?
Yeah, and you see how many chins I have now. That's
my God.
That's why I have a beard. To try to tie at least 3 of them.
I got a small beard, so it's accentuating my fat.
It more highlights the chins. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's alright. But for dinner, and this is like, I'm really boring, meatloaf. Meatloaf is like my favorite food.
I love meatloaf.
Yeah, I actually, not to pat myself on the back, I'm my own meatloaf. I throw it all together, I put the crap in it I like, I leave the crap out of it I don't like, and I enjoy it, so.
Hey, next time I come over, we're having meatloaf for dinner.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be so good.
I'll make you some loaf, dude.
Ooh,
yeah. And then also, just as a side, and it can go with meatloaf, which is great, cornbread. I'm a giant cornbread eater.
Dude, I'm not, for me, I don't like cornbread. I like the corn cake bread.
Okay.
Where you actually use like a can of cream corn.
Oh,
and
okay.
you bake it and it's just like, I don't want to use the word moist. I know people have like a phobia about that, but it's moist.
Yeah.
And
like the cast iron.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way I kind of like it.
More that's cool.
Like, dry pisses me off.
Yeah, if you I like to be able to pick it up.
Yes.
I don't want to have to eat it with a spoon, even it's like on your plate. Like I want to be able to grab it like a piece of bread or, something that,
right.
and not have it crumble down through my hands like sand. So yeah, that's it. And then, and that's really it for me for dinner. I don't know what I like to eat. I don't know how I'm fat, because I don't even know what I like to eat. What do you dig for dinner?
Mine's seriously a reiteration of what I like for the other 2 meals. I got pizza, Chinese, and then breakfast for dinner.
Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Like, I have a staple of foods that I go to as, I don't want to say comfort food, because I don't feel like I need comfort all the time, but I feel like I need to eat for comfort. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely love those variations because there's so many different things you can do with them.
Yeah.
Like, look at pizza, for example. There is 4,289,000 billion different ways that you can make pizza.
Yes. Yeah.
And everyone's always saying, oh, this pizza's the best. Well, this pizza's the best. That's the beauty of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of the way I feel about it as well. It's breakfast pizza,
Exactly.
Like you can have breakfast for dinner or dinner for breakfast.
Mm-hmm. We can literally combine all these onto, I don't know if I would combine the Chinese onto it. I never tried, but hey, don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, right, yeah. And I mean, people are doing some pretty crazy things with pizza. Obviously, we can't have this discussion without discussing the big thing with pizza is does Does pineapple go on it? What do you think?
Me personally, yes.
Okay.
I think pineapple goes on pizza. However, there is a catch. It has to be Hawaiian.
Yeah, right.
You can't put, pineapple with, I don't know, sausage.
Sausage and pepperoni.
Yeah, like, pepperoni does not go with it, but you put that with some ham, some good eats.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I've bounced back and forth throughout the years, like, yes, I do like it, yeah, no, I don't. But then I realized, just like you, it's like, it really is just the pineapple and ham. I have to have that kind of like the sweetness of the pineapple and the saltiness of the ham to kind of balance themselves out, and that's the way I prefer it. So I'm in the same boat. I don't want to own everything else. What did our listeners say? I know we did a little poll with this. Do you have some stats on that?
Well, we had an overwhelming amount of support when it came to this. We almost had 20 votes.
Wow.
Whoa. Look out. We're famous. On Facebook, 19 votes. 63% of you said yes. 37% said no.
Oh wow, okay. I expected more backlash. I thought there would be a little bit more hatred for the pine. I think it's a front. I think people are like, yeah, it's cool to hate that, but in the reality, you pass them a slice, they're gonna chow.
Oh, absolutely. And then on Twitter, 56% of people said yes, 44% said no.
Oh, okay, so it's a little bit more split there.
I was a little bit closer, but in the end, I think pineapple reigns supreme. So, I mean, hate it all you want. You don't have to eat it. More for me.
Exactly. Yeah. Just don't get it. It's not like other staple foods where I don't like that because that's how it is. It's not lasagna.
Right.
Lasagna is really only made one kind of way. I mean, you have white lasagna and stuff like that, but for the better part, when you think of lasagna, you think of one specific dish. You either do or don't really like it. Pizza, no, I mean, you can knock yourself out. I mean, look at all the variations on crust alone. You got, thin, thick.
Every week I see a new crust variation for Pizza Hut.
Oh yeah, they're always coming out with stuff.
Like this one's filled with, acetone. And this one has a little guy that jumps out and says, hey, I'm a pizza.
Yeah, the new, like, the gummy bear, crust from Pizza Hut and whatnot.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Actually, I'd probably try that.
I would not. Not a candy person myself. And that's really why I love pizza. I was reluctant to put pizza on any of my favorites lists because actually it really is my favorite, one of my favorite foods, but I knew we would be talking about it later on, but that could have gone, just like you, it could have gone on any of my three. It could have been my favorite breakfast, lunch, dinner, doesn't really matter. The one pizza though, there is one out there. I mean, there's like certain toppings I'm not a fan of. I've never tried anchovies. I have no intention of it, but the one style of pizza that can go straight to heck is Chicago style. I do not like Chicago style pizza. I don't like all the sauce. Like I feel like actually going back to lasagna, I feel like that's what it is. It's like pizza cake, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
I like the idea of it, but the problem is I've only had a Chicago pizza once. It's just because of where we live, And I don't get out that much. Whenever I do, I'm trying to try things that are, strange, exotic, and I don't necessarily go to pizza for that. I go to pizza. I go to pizza for, my happy place.
Yeah, it's a safe bet.
Exactly. So I tried one. I don't want to say the name locally of what the restaurant is, but they are local to us. And we asked, your Chicago style pizza, is it an actual deep dish pizza? Oh yeah, it's deep dish. And then it turns out it was just the world's thickest crust, and it was so undercooked, like... Oh, it was horrible. It's like, is this cheese or dough? I can't tell. So I had a very bad experience.
But, not a fan.
So I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, just for the time being. Now, if we ever actually have a chance to eat a real Chicago one, where you need a knife and fork.
Right. We've been through Chicago together once, and I've been through a couple other times myself, but I've never had the chance to partake. So I guess I really, as strongly as I came into this conversation, I should really, keep my reservations until I've had appropriate, proper.
Well, we'll call this Satan incarnate for the time being.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, we'll hold off. We'll come back to that. One of these days we'll try it. We'll come back to it on that.
A pizza revisitation.
Yeah, there you go. We might have a whole pizza hour one of these days, which is kind of what this one's turning into. So I'm going to slide on down through there.
Well, real quick. Your perfect pizza. Go.
Perfect pizza? Dude, I am the most boring person on the face of the planet.
What, you just straight up like cheese pepperoni?
Yeah, that's it. It really is. That's it. Like There are different places that I can get different pizzas from. One of my favorite, I'm going to do a little shout out, not paid at all, but Brenda's Pizza in McHenry, Maryland. Fantastic.
You should have went to Brady's birthday party.
Yeah, I missed it. And it was there at that awesome New York style pizza place. And they have some different things. They have the Cheese Louise pizza and I like margarita pizzas and things like that. But when it comes down to it, if ever I don't hesitate to grab a slice, it's always going to be just cheese and pepperoni. Just throw me some fresh mozz, give me the pepperoni, give me good quality stuff. The better the ingredients. I really do prefer it that way. I'm not a big fan of the Tombstone throw it in the oven pizzas. They're okay. They get the job done, but they're just like faux pizza. But, give me the good stuff. My big thing, I have some acid reflux. I have to stay away from a lot of heavy sauce. I like a little light on the sauce, but other than that.
Tomatoes are extremely acidic for that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So what about you? What is your favorite pizza?
I'm going to do another shout out. Once again, not paid at all. I like JJ's Pizza.
Okay.
They're local here to Cumberland, Maryland. And oh my God, I want to bathe in the oil that comes off that pizza. It's so good.
Like, so greasy, like you don't have to chew. You just kind of take a bite and it slides down your throat.
Exactly. Like you don't even have to chew. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But that's the way that I always pictured pizza. It has, pizza's not a healthy option.
No.
And if you say that it is, hit yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had like the vegetable pizza. I don't know if you've ever had one where like they do the crust and it's not hot at all. It's like they bake it ahead of time and then it's cooled down or whatever. But then they put like a smear of cream cheese or something and then like there's like bits of broccoli and carrots and things like a veggie. Have you ever had anything like that? It's almost like a dessert.
That's not pizza. That's blasphemy.
Well, I enjoyed it, except I didn't want to call it pizza. I'm like, this is a cool little veggie dish, but it's not.
It's a device to get vegetables. That's how you make kids eat pizza. That's how you make them eat their vegetables.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that with Brady.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's the benefit of it. But ultimately, yeah, it's not pizza for me.
It's a cool idea though. Don't get me wrong. I think that idea is great.
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
Well, that's exactly it with pizza. Like, and then that really is why it kind of falls into the next category of the one food you would eat for the rest of your life. I know we're beating a dead horse here, but it's going to be pizza for me because of the variations and because of the fact that like even bad pizza is still way better than some other foods. Like you can get like some slightly disappointing pizza and be like, oh well, that was alright.
Yeah, you still had pizza.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways. I mean, didn't Lonely Island, I just had pizza and it tasted so good.
Is that what, I don't know that song.
So
you just sang it to me.
It's a playoff of I Just Had Sex.
Okay.
Hey, doesn't matter if it's bad or not, it's still good.
Oh yeah, and that's pizza for you. What about you? Like if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I wrote it here.
I see a P, a couple Z's in the middle.
Yeah, it's pizza again.
Yeah. So this is just like the pizza episode.
Well, how about we get off the whole
let's
pizza
move
subject.
on.
Let's go to something completely different.
Well, okay, so we discussed the food that if we could only eat one food for the rest of our life. What about something you don't eat? What are some of your dislikes? What are foods that you're just like, no, not for me?
Squid.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Straight up. Like, I will not eat squid. I will not eat octopus. Right. I will not eat anything that has some tentacles, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, keep that in your hentai. Whatever. It doesn't deserve to be down my throat, okay?
Yeah, no, and I'm that way as well. And I'm gonna keep coming back to this. I have a very boring palate. I like just very basic general foods, so I don't get too crazy. But like the one food that has never done it for me, and I've tried so many times to get like, to enjoy it. Like I keep going back. I thought, maybe one of these days, my taste will mature and I'll like it, but I can't eat mushrooms. I can't do fungus. I can't handle mushrooms. I don't care what it is. Yeah, like one time, and I don't know, maybe it's mental. Maybe I just convince myself like as soon as I see a mushroom I should gag because it's gross. But I was at this restaurant and got a cheesesteak, and I'm thinking like traditional Philly cheesesteak. Obviously they didn't do cheese whiz because nobody knows what traditional Philly cheesesteak is unless you're in Philly. But it was like provolone and steak and whatnot. And I'm eating into this thing and like 2 or 3 bites in, I'm like, this is a weird tasting sandwich, but I'm really hungry. And I took a couple more bites and I'm like, this does not taste good to me. And I look down and it's like loaded. Like the mushroom lovers out there would have been like, yes, please pass me. But, I was ready to gag. Like, it was so gross because it was just, I don't know, it's like this earthy taste.
They also might have given you a type of mushroom that you just don't like.
Yeah, there are a lot of those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, I used to absolutely despise mushrooms. Okay. Like, I was the same way. I thought about them and it just, you know? But, I got turned on to baby portobellos.
Okay.
I think they're called cremini mushrooms.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I think you would love them.
Okay.
We ought to make our own Philly cheesesteaks sometime and cook some of those up separately.
Right, yeah.
To see if that be something that you would be into.
Yeah.
Like, they are earthy, but at the same time they're, what's the word I'm looking for? Meaty?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's absolutely delicious. It adds a certain flavor to it.
Okay.
Almost like a truffle, which is another thing we should do as well.
Yeah, I mean, I generally, unless something's really gross, I'm typically okay with trying things. There are certain foods that I'm just like, no. Like the whole squid. Like, I don't, and then they get the people that are eating like crickets and stuff. You know, like, oh, they're full of protein. I'm like, well, that's weird.
Yeah, and so is a million other foods that aren't gross.
Yeah, that aren't crickets. So, I would definitely try it. I don't know. We'll see. I would try that. Like I said, I revisit mushrooms on occasion. Maybe I just haven't found the right one for me. But that whole idea of like spores that grow on poo, I don't want that. I don't want that. Like, I want something that needs sunshine to grow.
Hey, I mean, it's our generation where, into, eating things that you shouldn't eat and, like, wasn't there a whole thing about Tide Pods?
Yeah. Like, So, I mean, I guess in like the grand scheme of things, mushrooms really aren't that big of a deal.
There's always worse. Like, you can actually eat the poo that the mushrooms grow in versus eating a Tide Pod.
Yeah.
But,
we don't need the detergent. Those are some of the things. Like, are there any strange food combinations that you consume?
Just the most popular, I guess you would say, would be, the whole Wendy's fries and vanilla shake.
I don't think that's strange. Is that strange?
I mean, to me, I don't know. Kinda?
Is it? You guys are gonna have to let us know. Like, those, message us or what have you. Is that weird? Cause like, that's a thing I've done since, I don't know if is that a local to like the middle of the Eastern Shore area?
I don't know if it is or not. We're so sheltered. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's exactly, I don't know if that's weird or not. I don't know. I just think dipping your fries in a milkshake is completely normal. I don't really do it, like, every once in a while, but like, I appreciate it.
Well, anytime I go to Wendy's, I'm not thinking, man, I could go for a milkshake. No, I'm thinking, man, I could go for, 14 triple baconators. Like, yeah. I'm hoping my heart explodes today.
So much cow and pig in my face.
Exactly. What about you? Is there any kind of like weird, strange things?
It comes back to kind of the more local thing. And this is a food that I really don't eat anymore. I don't go out of my way to eat it. But when I was younger, I ate the crap out of it. And it's something that as I moved away from this area, and of course we came back, but when I was away, I found out that like literally no one else eats it and they think it sounds disgusting, is ham salad.
I love ham salad.
Yeah, but you know what? When I lived out west, I'm like, hey, anybody know where I can get some ham salad? I was at a deli. I was at like
and they didn't even know what it was?
Yeah, I was at like a Fred Meyer's, and they have like the little deli section there, or one of those places, I can't remember what it is, but I walk up and I'm like looking in the little cool case, and they have the egg salad, they got macaroni salad. I'm like, where the hell's my ham salad? And I asked the guy, and like, he was just like, he thought I was messing with him. He's just like, that's disgusting. Why would you say something like, why would you put those two words together? And I'm like, no, dude, I mean, I think it's good. And then like,
it's not actually a salad.
Yeah.
It's horrible for you.
I don't eat any real salad. I just,
it's an oxymoron,
Yeah, I mean, I guess it falls under the whole pork soda idea. It sounds really gross to outsiders, but and I don't eat it that much anymore. But that was one of those things that I didn't think was weird until somebody was like, "No, that's hella weird."
Well, like pork rinds.
Oh yeah.
No one realizes, hey, it's just deep fried pig skin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good though.
Yeah, I just
guilty pleasure.
Is it?
Right there, guilty pleasure.
I can't.
Really? Just the thought of it?
It really is. It's a mind thing.
See, I sit there and I just smile knowing that I'm getting fatter.
Yeah, there's no nutritional value.
Oh my god, no. The bag it comes in is more nutritional than the actual product. Yeah. Well, maybe not. It might have absorbed some of the oil. But moving on.
So, actually, I'm not going to move on. There was one other thing that I had in mind.
Moving on from that.
Food, from that. Strange food combinations. And this is another thing that I don't eat anymore because I really regulate what I eat these days. Not in a healthy way, just I'm picky. When I was a little kid, and this is another one of those things that like, I now think is weird, but I don't know. For a long time I did it. Did you ever do the ketchup on your eggs when you were a little kid?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So that's not that weird then.
No, my for those of you who don't know, I have a 2-year-old daughter, and she demands to have ketchup with her eggs. But she also demands to have mustard and mayonnaise. She doesn't. She doesn't eat any of the mustard or any of the mayonnaise. She just wants to have it on the plate.
It needs to be an option.
Yeah, you need to have options. It needs to be readily available, just in case.
Yeah, it's like you're painting a picture of like the sky, but you're going to throw some red paint on that palette just in case, and you don't use it.
She calls it ketchup, and she also refers to it as her special sauce.
Nice.
So, if she wants to have, sauce on her eggs, Daddy will have sauce on his eggs.
Oh, okay. So you still eat ketchup?
Every once in a while,
No kidding.
Yeah.
I haven't tried. I might try it. I might.
You never had it?
No, I mean I did when I was little, but then like there's that point where you stop eating the baby stuff or the kid stuff, and that was a long time ago for me. Like I don't know. I think probably just my older brother was like, "That's gross. You should stop doing that."
Well, I think that's the beauty of having kids is you get to revisit all the stuff that
like oh that's weird, but I'm curious. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's like, hey, can we buy Legos for the kiddo? Oh, she's not old enough. She'll get there.
I'll keep him clean until she gets to him.
I got this, guys.
Yeah.
Can we get her some Hot Wheels? Anyhow.
Well, what about, cause we did the strange food combinations. Anything out there? Cause I guess our strange really wasn't even all that strange, but is there anything that you eat that like, the world needs to know about? And I will tell you right now, I have nothing for that list. I have no idea.
I actually don't have anything either, to tell you the truth.
You guys tell us then. We want to know what are some of the things that you just, what do they do? Like the peanut butter and sardine sandwiches and stuff like that. Like what's something like that? Obviously not that. That's gross. But tell us, what do you guys eat that's like out of this world weird? And if you kind of get past the notion of it, you enjoy it. We want to know. So
what should we try?
Yeah.
Like I am so down. Just don't be like eating mushrooms and poo. Like give us a real
anything hot. Like I can't do spicy and things like that.
I love spice. Spice is so good.
I can't do it. I can't do spicy food.
I didn't used to.
Dude, I am a giant wuss. Like I went to a local wing place about a year ago or so. A bunch of us got together to meet up, and then this friend of a friend that was there, really cool guy. He's like a connoisseur of heat. Like if it's borderline homicidal, that's
you have to sign a waiver.
Yeah, that's his thing. He's like, yeah, I want to sweat and like be in pain. I want my eyes to water. I'm like, you're an idiot,
right?
But hey, whatever. I got a couple other friends that are like that too. But so we go to this place. And it was kind of funny, like, and I just play it off. I don't really care. I don't get embarrassed. But, they had their menu written on the wall. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, oh, they have all these, it's like, that's what they do. They do wings and they have all their stuff, but the wings is their thing. And I'm going through the list, and the very first thing on the list was medium. And I'm like, well, better take it safe. And,
does this come with a wet wipe?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I keep it like it's a hot, extra hot and everything. You get into other stuff, honey barbecue. And I'm like, that's great. But like for me, even though I don't like hot, I tend to try to judge restaurants based on the core version of whatever it is they claim their fame to be. So like, in this case, it's a wing shop. I want to try mild wings. Like if you can't do mild wings right, you shouldn't consider yourself a wing shop. Just like if I go to a burger joint, I'm going to get a bacon cheeseburger. I'm not going to get the weird burger with avocado on it. I'm going to get a bacon cheeseburger. I'm going to judge the crap out of you based on how good that is. And so I'm looking and I'm going down through, and the mild wasn't on the wall. Like this whole wall was like 6 feet tall by like 10 feet wide of flavors, tons and tons of flavors. And I never once saw the word mild. And I'm like, well, what the crap? Like, obviously they have to offer it. So the waitress comes over. She's like, oh, you guys all ready? And everybody else orders. And I'm like, hey, I don't know if this is like something I could special request, but I didn't see mild on the wall. And she goes, oh, well, that's okay. We have this flavor called Sissy Mild that we serve children. And I'm like, yeah, that's me right here. Like, I'll take an order of that. Like, I think they try to like, pick on people with it.
They persuade you to get something a little bit hotter.
No, not me. I'm like, I want that. And I kid you not, I barely got through them.
Really?
I was like wiping my brow and I'm like, oh, like 10 napkins laying there and crying a little bit, and everybody else is like, you really, I'm like, no, that's it. Sissy mild. That's what they made for me. So I can't do the heat. I can't do it at all.
I like heat, but I don't like stupid heat.
Yeah.
Like, I want to taste spices. I don't want to be hurt by spices.
Yeah.
Like, if it's one of those where you have to wear gloves, why the hell would you put it on your lips?
Yeah.
Why would you let it in your mouth?
Why would you put that in you?
Exactly. Like, you can apply that to so many different situations in life, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, no, that's it. And and I appreciate the flavor aspect of it. Like, one of my favorite condiments is actually Frank's Red Hot, which is
I do love
deceiving because it's the absolute least hot sauce you can probably, it's like almost butter. It's so not hot, but I love the flavor. I mean, if you ever get a chance to like read the label on that, it's like vinegar and peppers. Like that's it.
Pretty much.
It's super natural.
That's how you have all of the best hot sauces, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm talking like more or less like your best commercial hot sauces. Like everyone, does like Tabasco and stuff like that, which don't get me wrong, there are aspects that I like about Tabasco.
Yeah.
But when I'm thinking hot sauce, I'm thinking straight up Louisiana style.
Okay.
Like Crystal hot sauce.
Oh, I've never heard of that one. Okay.
You can get it at any big box retailer or anything like that. Hell, Louisiana hot sauce. It's actually a brand.
Yeah, Louisiana, yeah.
Like, anything that's a real vinegar base.
Okay.
I think that's where my heart lives.
Now, what about like Texas Pete? Are you
Texas Pete's good. Guy? I think it's the best on eggs.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, any excuse to use salsa hot sauce.
Yeah.
I'm right
cool.
there. Matter of fact, I actually made my own hot sauce probably about 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I made that with some jalapenos and some poblanos.
Okay.
And it was so good.
Yeah,
I still have some if you want to try.
Yeah, I'll try it, as long as it's not going to like beat me up or anything. Like, can your 2-year-old child eat it? Oh, then I better not.
Okay.
I appreciate the offer though. Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So obviously we both like food. I already know the answer to this. I'm interviewing him for some reason for you guys. Where are you at on cooking? Obviously we love to cook. I'm
actually not a bad cook. I'm really not. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or twirl my own beanie.
Wolfgang Miller over
there. Yeah, I used to be the worst cook ever.
Wow.
I tried to make a chicken breast one night.
Okay.
I have 2 examples. Okay. This is the first one.
Yeah, throw it at
me. The first one was I ended up searing the outside of this chicken breast black.
Oh, wow.
Ended up melting the spatula in the pan, and the inside of the chicken breast was still raw.
Oh my god. Were you in Pompeii over
I didn't
the
know,
fire of the volcano?
Apparently my stove goes to nuclear.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You could hear the heat coming off the wall.
It was changing the atmosphere, but that was one.
Here's the reason the polar ice caps are melting.
Yeah, pretty much. I am global warming. But the second one, I tried to make sugar cookies. And
okay, that sounds really easy. Like I'm not a baker by any means, but like, how did you mess up?
I'm a great cook. I'm a horrible baker.
Okay,
I can't bake worth a darn. I ended up making a cookie sheet. It was one ginormous,
okay,
like huge pan of
like
sugar
cookie pancake.
Yeah, exactly. But it was brown. Like it didn't cookie. Like I was so embarrassed.
You made a plate for which you should eat from, but it wasn't edible.
Andrea walked downstairs and took a look at it and goes, "What did you make?" I looked at it, I'm like, "I don't know."
I think it said my name on it.
Yeah, she's like, where's the package? Like, here it is. It's like, they were supposed to be sugar cookies. I'm like, and I created not that.
Wow.
Yeah, but her dad is a phenomenal chef and taught her everything that she knows, and that's where I learned everything from.
Okay.
And she's really, guided me to the point where, I make breakfast every Sunday morning for the girls.
Nice.
Like that's what I do. Like I am, always trying to make dinners for them, and no one's died yet.
Yeah, that's a good track record.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll count that as a win,
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone's gotten violently ill, but No, I'm a good cook. How about you?
Same thing. You know, I really do enjoy cooking. Again, just like you, not a baker. I don't really even try. Julia does all of the baking and she's fantastic at it. So I let her do her thing when that comes to that, but I do like cooking. I don't really have any like crazy stories. I don't have like any cookiezillas or anything like that. Like my big thing is, well, for those that don't know, I don't really have a sense of smell. It's one of those weird things about me. I can't really smell. Like it's gotta be like a skunk hit the windshield at 100 miles per hour and then I'm like, is there something there? So like for me, I have to really taste things, to find out what they taste like. I can't just like, okay, this is good and go. So for me, a lot of times I'll have to make the dish to find out whether or not I like it. And growing up, I was just like, I'm just going to make whatever. And like, you know, nothing really crazy sticks out, but there was like the time that I'm like, I like scrambled eggs. I like honey. And I put honey in scrambled eggs and it's god awful. It's just the worst. Like scrambled eggs should not be sweet. It was so gross. Like I literally like a little butter, cracked some eggs, threw some honey in. So like it was like simmering on the pan.
It sounds like something that would be legitimate. And then just thinking about it a little bit further.
Yeah. When you really consider the mechanics behind it, you're like, no, that's a terrible idea. I mean, I was probably like 12 or 13. You know, I wasn't old enough to know, but like that's what I have to do. So a lot of times I'll just make something and try like. And sometimes I just don't succeed.
Right.
You know, but that's kind of the cool thing with cooking, I guess, in the situation where you can throw away some food is make a little version of it and see if you like it or not. And if you do, great.
Well, that was always my problem. Like, I didn't make a little version. You know,
just all in.
Yeah. It's like if I were to make honey and eggs, I'd be like, okay, 14 dozen eggs, 3 pounds of honey.
Yeah.
Good God, this is awful. Here you go, dog.
Yeah,
you know?
It's bad for you. So I have stuff like that where I kind of, experiment, but I try to stick within the bounds. Like I kind of, at this point in my life, I know what's more or less going to suck. You know, like, that's stupid. Don't do that.
That's a life lesson, right?
It really is. Yeah. So you kind of get through that. But you know, I don't really have any mishaps or anything like that. Now, are there any, I probably should leave this for the end, but screw it, I'm going to say it right now.
All right.
Best meal of your life. Do you have anything in particular in mind? I had a hard time with this one.
Oh gosh, best meal of my life. I honestly don't know. Because the problem that I have is I'm a heavy feller.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm a chunky feller. And when I don't eat for, I don't know, neighborhood of like 10, 12 hours, it gets to a point where I will eat pretty much anything. Like I will eat a buffalo from the ass end while it's still alive when I'm that hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times I've had the best meal of my life in a week's time.
Oh yeah.
But the best dish that I've ever had.
Okay.
Andrea makes this phenomenal, oh my God, chicken pot pie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think whenever she makes like the true version of it, it takes her like anywhere from like 8 to 12 hours.
Good grief.
Yeah, like she goes to town on this thing. Like she hand makes the dough and she simmers everything down.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
It's so amazing. Oh my God.
That does sound pretty good.
I will have her make us one.
Yeah. I'm all for it.
Andrea, if you end up listening to this.
She won't.
I wish, but if you hear this, we need pot pie.
We need pot pie.
Pretty please.
Yeah.
I love you. Anyhow, how about you?
Well, for me, it's really funny. Like, I probably should have at least found out where this food came from. That's a terrible way to start this. So the
we should have did research on this.
Well, no, yeah, I should have. Well, no. So what happened was the best meal that I genuinely remember ever eating was the food catered to my brother's wedding.
Really?
Yeah, just a couple years ago. My brother Jason and his wife Sam, they had this amazing meal. It was at this like really lavish country club. I mean, it was the bee's knees, man. They ticked all the boxes. They didn't go like overboard or anything of that nature, but like they hit it where it counted. Like they didn't go crazy in some scenarios, but like the food was banging. It was on point. And they had just like, I don't know if it may have been filet mignon. I don't know, some cut of meat. And like, for me, I don't do well with gristly or fatty foods. Like, everybody's like, oh, I could use a T-bone. I actually don't really even care for T-bone steak because it takes me like 9 hours to cut the junk off of it. Cause I want a clean, lean protein. I don't mind that the fat was there for flavor while you're cooking. I just don't want to chew it.
Well, it takes 14 years to, actually bite through it.
Yeah.
It feels like you're eating glue.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So that was my issue. And they had these amazing, they were as thick as they were round. They were like a 4-inch thick. It was like a cube.
I have a joke about that.
But we'll move on. This is a family show. And then they had like they had these crab cakes and they were like fresh. Like, it was crab. It wasn't like the imitation, like, is this crab? It was
that sounds so amazing.
Yeah, it was so good. And they had all these amazing sides. And I'm eating and I'm like, I don't even care that I'm at a wedding anymore. Like, I'm going to congratulate them on picking a catering company today. Like, yeah, I heard you got like the ring and the flat. I don't care. The food was amazing. Hugs. I'm out. Call me if you ever do this again. Like, can you just like renew your vows or something and just give me this food? And I have no idea where it came from. I never asked. I still to this day probably should ask like, hey, where'd you get that from? But it's probably stupid expensive. And something I'm not going to partake.
But you mentioning that got me thinking. There actually is one particular dish that I still remember to this day.
Okay.
Had it back in 2010.
You know the year. Okay.
It was June 22nd.
I wore blue socks that day.
It was a beautiful day, actually. We were in Bar Harbor, Maine.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And there was this little tiny restaurant that was set near Cadillac Mountain. Now, for people that don't know what Cadillac Mountain is, it's the highest point on the eastern seaboard.
Oh, okay.
Of the entire eastern seaboard, and you're on top of Cadillac Mountain. Ta-da! Congratulations, you're the tallest point.
Okay.
But they had this lobster roll that they made. It was seriously just a lobster in this handmade roll, and they served it with potato chips. It was probably like, it was probably like the most like, I don't want to call it white trash, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was like when you said lobster, I'm picturing like elegant.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was just lobster just thrown into a roll. And then, we ate it in a meadow of all places. And it was, I think there was like fields of blueberries. It was amazing. And to this day, I still remember, I will find the name of that place.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask, but.
Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah.
I want to make one now.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry.
I don't know if I didn't eat dinner before we
really should have done this on full stomachs.
Yeah, my stomach is like,
at the same time, we'd be like, okay, we're going to talk about food, and now we don't want to talk about food.
Yeah, it was probably best to go in hungry on that. So for me, like, I had the wedding meal, but there's one specific dish that stuck out to me that was actually a dessert. And it was in Chicago of all places. I know I just like bad-mouthed Chicago for their pizza, and I more or less stand behind that. But
more or less.
So I was in this layover years ago in a flight out west, and ended up getting stuck in Chicago for a night. There was like some the volcano in the state of Washington that was going. I don't know what it was. There was like a lot of ash in the air. Whatever. I had to stay in Chicago for that. That was where my layover was, and then the layover turned into a stayover. And so the airline like hooked me up. I guess this is like what they do for people. I don't know. I can't remember which one it was.
Well, they dang well better.
Well, I don't know. Some of them. Yeah. So they got me this voucher for this room. Well, the only hotel that I could really like get to and get back in time was a Hilton. Yeah. So like, I'm like, okay. And it wasn't like, you get like the Hiltons that are pretty much Holiday Inns that like kind of use the name Hilton. Like where we stayed at in Virginia was a Hilton. And it was nice. It was nice. It was a nice place.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
We didn't share a bed, so that was fun.
Yeah, that was good. So, but like this was like Hilton. Like this is where the name came from. This is why those sisters were.
It's Hilton Chicago.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so we stay there and I go, and it never occurred to me while I'm at the airport and they're getting everything arranged and everything to eat there at the airport. And I get to this hotel and I'm dog tired. Like I've been up for like 20 some hours at this point. I'm like, I need to sleep, but I need to eat first. And so I go to the Hilton restaurant in the hotel there, and I sit down and the guy comes over and like I think I genuinely was supposed to have a jacket on. Like I like he comes over and he's like,
we don't serve your
Yeah, it really, that was it. Like, he's like, how can I politely tell this guy? He's like, he's an absolute slum, just a terrible looking person. And, yeah, I mean, I was like, jeans and a t-shirt or whatever. And,
it was a Thursday.
But they were really cool. They were not busy at all. And I think that was the reason they let me stay.
Yeah.
And so the guy's like, what do you want to drink? And I'm like, probably water, like judging by where I'm at. Or I think maybe I ordered a Coke and it was like $19.
What can I afford here?
Exactly. And so that's what I did. So he goes to get my drink and I flip open the menu and I'm like, oh God. Oh my God. Yeah, like this is expensive. Like I was looking at like 3 figures in this, meal for one. I'm talking like $70-$80 before tip for like just about anything.
And they expect tip.
Yeah. The gratuity better be. If it's 20%, then you're not doing very good because you should make it more. But, and I'm sure it was well worth it I don't know well worth it, but I'm sure it was really good. And I couldn't afford it. I had like no money on me. And so the guy comes back and he's like, what can you get? And I'm like, buddy, what's the cheapest thing on the menu? Like, I was like just frank with him, and he knew. He wasn't surprised. Oh my, you're not going to be able to afford this?
Sacre bleu.
He knew, and he was just like, well, what do you want? He's like, we can do this or do that, and like most of the dishes were like $30-$40. And I'm like, yeah, not in my range. And he's like, well, how about some dessert? And I'm like, well, okay, sure. And he's like, we got cheesecake. It's a slice of cheesecake. And it was like, if I remember correctly, it was like $18, $19, $20, something like that. Or maybe it was like $21. It was around $20 slice of cheesecake. And I'm like, I can swing that. And it better be the best cheesecake ever. And they bring it out to me. And this doggone piece of cheesecake is like a whopping 2.5 inches wide at the thick end. Like, it was a sliver of cheesecake. I was irate. Like, I was mad. Like, I got like 30 cents worth of cheesecake and I paid $20 for it. But it was the absolute greatest cheesecake I had ever eaten. It was amazing. I almost ate the plate when I was finished with it. It was so very good. And that's one of those things that stuck out with me. Like, I got done and like I thanked the guy and I paid my with my $19 Coke, I paid my $40 tab for a sliver of cheesecake and a Coke. And I went to bed more or less happy, other than I was still hungry, but it was just, it was so doggone good. And like, it ruined all their cheesecake for me, although I still like it, but I mean.
Oh God, now I want cheesecake. I'm so hungry.
I'm really hungry. I think we went around this the wrong way. So yeah, that was kind of what stuck out with me, is like those few things. Now, I'm going to get back to what we do and don't do. So obviously we both cook. Neither of us really bake that much. You do, I don't at all. What about grilling? Now, for some people, like, it's its own thing. Like, you get some people that are like grilling and cooking, or those are two separate things.
Oh, absolutely.
And do you agree? Like,
to an extent.
Okay.
Now, like, if you almost have to look at if barbecuing is a sport. Like, wow. look at those national barbecuing championships.
Oh yeah.
Where, like, I've grilled, more pigs and you've had ladies, one of those kind of deals. Like, I think those guys, that it's its own thing. But for the average Joe, like me or you, like, we're cooking for the family.
Right.
Like, we're not cooking to win championships. We're cooking to, feed a screaming toddler.
Right.
Like, here's your hot dog, kiddo.
That won't eat anything but a hot dog. Yep.
It's one of those kind of deals. Like, I enjoy the idea of it. Like, I would love to be able to, to brine a roast or something like that for several days and smoke it in its own dedicated smoker. I don't have that kind of money. I don't have a smoker.
I don't have a smoker, yeah.
Like, I know a smoker. That's about as far as I go, but I'm not going to let him breathe on it, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's a different story. But anyhow, I like the idea of it, but feasible as its own thing for the average person, I don't believe so.
Okay. Yeah, cause I mean, we said like, one of us cooks, but we don't bake or something like that. So cooking and baking are obviously, that's two different things, even though in the end it's both food preparation. But you don't, I don't really have an opinion on it. Like, I don't really think about it enough. Like, if I open up the grill, it's the same thing. I'm making some dogs, throwing some burgers on, getting them done.
Yeah.
And getting some food in some faces.
Well, I think the reason, like, I'm such like a terrible baker, for example, is it's chemistry, essentially. Where you have to be, precise with your measurements.
Right.
When it comes to cooking, it's more or less, trial and error. It's like, oh, well, this could probably use some more salt. But it's not like when you're cooking, or when you're baking, where, this could probably use, some more baking soda.
Yeah, it ruins it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you gotta be precise. Like, when they say you need to have a teaspoon of this, follow the dang directions, people. Like, that's the way it needs to be. But what do you think? Like, are you... Would you consider yourself to be like an avid barbecuist?
No, not really. I mean, I appreciate like, food cooked over an open grill. I love the taste of it and everything like that, but not really. And you get the people that, even the term barbecue, you gotta be careful with that. You can't just throw that at everything because you're like, oh, I'm gonna throw some dogs on the grill. I got some barbecue in, and like people get mad. Like they get real mad. They're like, no, there's no direct heat with barbecue. You gotta have like the heat chambers off to the side and it goes through the tube.
What do you mean you're gonna be using that LP gas?
Yeah.
You won't use the charcoal. Yeah. Like, buddy, I don't got time to light this charcoal and then sit around for 45 minutes and wait for it to turn. No. I'd rather microwave it. Take that.
Yeah.
I'll eat it raw. I don't care. They're already cooked.
Honest to goodness, my grill is, it's propane too. And it really is sacrilegious to some people though. Like they get really upset. Like if it ain't Kingsford, it ain't, cooking. And I'm like, turn the valve.
Where'd you dry rub, boy?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So no.
Why do we always assume that that's the way they talk? That's probably the stereotype for a reason though, I'm sure.
Yeah. It might be. Years ago I was, driving between, what were the towns? I was in Texas. I was going on my way to, San Antonio from someplace. I can't remember where. Houston to San Antonio. I was driving across.
What was that small town?
Yeah, it's Texas. There's like 9,000, different towns. But anyways, driving from Houston to San Antonio and doing it with my buddy Mike. It was a work trip at the time. We're cruising along. It's lunchtime. Let's find a place. Let's find a place quick, And I'm like, hey, there's a Whataburger, which at that point, up until that trip, I'd never eaten one before.
I still haven't.
Oh, it's really good. It really is good. And we'll get back to this because that's a topic for later. So we'll get back to Whataburger. But so we're cruising along. We see one, and I'm like, all right, let's grab a Whataburger. He's like, yeah, sure. He had spent some time in Cali, so he knew what that was. I didn't, and so we pull in. Well, as we're pulling in, this Whataburger happened to like share a parking lot with this like old school Texas barbecue shop. And dude, like I pull in and I'm in this like rental Ford, 4-door car. And, as I'm pulling in, there's this guy that like he's a cowboy. Like he's not, he was as genuine as somebody in cowboy boots and a cowboy hat could be. Like there was no comedy to it whatsoever. Like I pull in and I'm like, that guy's for real. Like he's a cowboy. And older gentleman and his wife. And so I pull up, I roll down the window and I'm like, hey buddy. And he's just like, yeah, I can't do accents at all, but in his most Texas accent, he's like, yeah, what's up? And I'm like, hey man, I'm like, we're obviously not from around here. And he's like, yeah. And, and I'm like, looking to try Texas barbecue. I was like, I've never had authentic Texas barbecue. I'm like, obviously you just came out of this place. Do you recommend it? And like he leans in and he's like, son, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. Right. Like I already know. And he's just like, this is the only place you go, for barbecue. And it was amazing. It really was. Like I went in there and I'm like, I understand. Like I don't necessarily care to do it, the differentiation between cooking and grilling and barbecuing, but I get it. Right. I got it from that experience.
I think once you get to that level of superstardom, like where that's what you're doing in that alone.
Upper echelon.
It's not necessarily cooking. It's not necessarily barbecuing. It's more or less you're creating art.
Yeah.
Flavorful
and they
art.
did. Dude, I don't even know how many different animals I ate. I'm just like, if you're making it, throw it on the plate. And it was so good.
Now, here's what I'm picturing. All right. I'm picturing brown square floor tiles. I'm picturing red plastic baskets with the paper liners.
Yeah, yes and no, because like that is what I would have expected as well. But this was like, think more Texas, so it was like wood plank floor, and like they wrapped your food in like newspaper.
Of course.
Yeah, like
why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, it was like this whole hunk of cornbread there that was amazing as well, and these beans that were amazing. I'm not even really a bean guy, and I'm like, these are the best beans ever.
Right.
So yeah, it was really, really good. And I haven't really had the opportunity to go many places and try a lot of stuff. I've never been outside of the country other than Canada, which is just America Junior.
Pretty much.
But,
no offense, Canadians.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's the nice thing about America is that you have the opportunity to eat, more foreign cuisine, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Locally, obviously there's going to be that, it's going to be watered down. It's going to be blanded. It's going to be Americanized. You know, like I don't think anything at a Chinese restaurant is probably actually from China. It's all just from San Fran.
Like they do not eat anything that we eat.
Right.
Like the fortune cookie was created in San Fran, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? It may have been. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. You know, to find out that folks in China have no idea what that is. Are there any other like foreign type foods that do it for you that you enjoy?
Well, if you're doing foreign, like, how would I describe it? Like, it would be not necessarily like a particular dish, but more or less like a style. Because when you think about it, there's so many styles of food. There's so many nationalities of food.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got Mexican, you got Italian, you got, you know.
Oh, then you got like different regional cuisines within those. You can't just blanket anything.
Yeah.
So that's understandable.
But it really comes down to, you know, what you're in the mood for that day. Like, there are certain weeks where I want nothing but spaghetti. Or something along that kind of lines, like some kind of, you know, pasta with a sauce put on it. For like 3 weeks on end. And then I don't want to have pasta for 2.5 years.
Right, yeah.
You know, like, I went through a broccoli phase where we had nothing but broccoli.
Okay.
And I despise broccoli now.
Not a fan of the little trees.
Yeah. It's kind of like whenever you're going through college and you get on the ramen noodle fad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't touch ramen for a long time.
I still can't.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. You know what, 15 years later? No.
Yeah. My one roommate, he could doctor it up though. Like he would crack an egg in it and like throw some other stuff in there and he could make it work.
I'm talking like the 25 cent.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Like Andrea's always talked about, like, she's had real ramen.
Okay.
Where they're making, you know, nothing but ramen. And it's, you know, all handmade and has the egg and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, you need to try this. I'm like, well, that's all well and dandy, but I'm not in New York City where you are. And I'm not going to New York City. Right. And no offense to New York City, but I don't like people. So putting me into a city filled with, you know, 15 million of them is something like that. It does not sound like my idea of a good time.
Right.
I'll watch you on the Travel Channel. I'll watch you on the Cooking Channel. That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. How about you? What do you think?
You know, and it boils down to how accurate it is. You know, Olive Garden really isn't Italian. You know, you get like an old Italian grandma. She's going to be like, what is this? You know, heck with them and their breadsticks. But, yeah, I mean, I bounce around again. It comes down to like, I'm pretty finicky about like the weirdness factor. So if I get too far in one direction or another, there's some, you know, some Asian cuisines that I just can't get past mentally to even try. And it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, like, I got options. I could miss a meal. So, not really, but there's one foreign cuisine that I tried that I'm so doggone proud that I tried. And you were there and you tried it too. And that was poutine. Yeah.
It was at that bar, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, it was somewhere in like the Yukon or BC or something like that. In the middle of nowhere, and we're like, we pull in and our one Canadian buddy's with us and he's like, well, you know, you gotta try. If you're gonna try it, you gotta try it here. And we did, and it was, again, gravy, you know, it was...
Anything with gravy, doesn't matter what it is.
It was so good. So like, that's it. That's like my claim to foreign cuisine fame is that they french fries in Canada.
I'm gonna use that one as my example as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Well, I mean, I've only been out of the country just a few times.
Right.
You know, been to, you know, America Junior. Canada. Yeah. I was in Mexico once, but it was, you cross over in, what's the, Brownsville, Texas.
Oh,
far bottom, like as far down as you could possibly go.
Okay.
Like right next to South Padre Island, that kind of thing.
Okay.
You cross over into Matamoros, Mexico. And it's one of those kind of places where if you order a Coke, it better come in a can.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Didn't eat anything there, but like from what a lot of, you know, Texas people will say is if you want the best Mexican food, go to Texas.
Really?
Yeah. Because, I mean, you have so many people down there that, you know.
Well, yeah, the Tex-Mex, you know,
exactly.
Like it crosses over. It's not like the food stops at the border.
You also have, you know, like all these people that, you know, come over from Mexico that are, you know, phenomenal chefs. And they open up, you know, all these different restaurants.
Yeah, like the food trucks and stuff?
Yeah, man, like they know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you get me authentic Mexican and I'll be your boyfriend. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've never had it myself. you know, we can go back and forth on that.
Of course.
I'm going to move on. I have one very interesting question for you. So, and I think we had a couple different versions of this topic, but one of my things is, what are your thoughts on alcohol in cooking? In the incorporation of alcohol.
It's good as long as it's used in moderation.
Yes.
Like the people that use cognac as an example.
Okay.
Like when you burn off the alcohol, burn off the alcohol.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't want to get sauced while
Yeah. Like, the whole idea of like the Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. Now, not putting down Jack Daniel's, but I can only picture myself, you know, dying when I was having that much Jack Daniel's in my system.
Right.
You know, like
you get kind of turned off of it.
I'm very turned off of it. Like,
years, yeah.
I don't think I'll ever have whiskey again in my life. You know, it's one of those kind of deals.
Yeah.
But as long as it's done correctly, I think that it's, you know, phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, I love a good beer broth, like a genuine, boiled in beer, throw it on the grill, throw it back in the beer, you know.
Well, I think beer is one of those kind of universal ones. It can go in so many different things, like chili, for example.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never considered doing that.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the, you know, the better things you could probably use it in. I mean, once again, moderation.
Right. Yeah.
It's more or less for a flavor thing. I mean, let's face it, you're not going to get drunk on. Some people might, but
yeah, and for me, like, I'm in the same boat. Like, if I get something that's got bourbon something on it, you know, it's usually like a sauce or something like that. Like, I want that hint. I don't need to like, oh wow, I don't want that kick in the face.
Yeah, I don't want to get drunk, you know, with my sauce. Or fill in the blank.
Yeah, that's exactly. Now granted, I'm not a big alcohol fan. I mean, I enjoy beer, and in past years, you know, I was a much bigger fan of it lately. You know, in the later years of my life, I'm not drinking nearly as much as I used to. One here or there, maybe. I think I probably drank a couple last month.
I'm sorry. I've tried so many times to like beer.
You have to.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste good. Everybody that loves beer is lying to the younger version of themselves that first tried it. Cause nobody likes beer the first time. It's god awful. And then you're like, oh well, I for some reason like this.
I still don't. Like, I drink it and I feel worse as a person.
Yeah. Some people get that bloated effect and whatnot. So for me, I mean, I enjoy some ales and things like that. I'm not a big hop fan. I'm sorry hipsters. I don't like your 160 minute IPAs and things like that. I don't like hoppy beers, but,
I like ginger ale.
There you go.
I like
root beer.
I like root beer.
Good sarsaparilla.
Oh yeah, you know what I like, boy.
Yeah. So let's dive into. I mean, I'm kind of over the whole alcohol thing. I didn't have nearly as much to say about it as I thought I would.
Well, we could do a whole episode on alcohol.
Yeah, we might. You know what? Let us know, guys. If you want to hear us talk about booze. You pretty much heard.
I want to do a drunk podcast one time.
We are not going to do a drunk podcast.
I mean, granted, we can't do it live, and we'll have to do some heavy editing.
And still crying.
I'm happy drunk.
So, one big thing that we had in our little game plan here was to talk about American food, and specifically some of the things that we Americans are obsessed with. Some of the stuff you came up with, great little list here. Cheese. I do love cheese. Like, you give me like a block of Kojak and a knife, and I'm a happy little fat kid.
Oh my god, I love cheese. There's nothing that... Why didn't I want to change my top favorite foods.
It's cheese now. It's just cheese.
It's just cheese. Just breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Types of cheese.
Like, there's a reason that's a stereotype for Americans.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. It's just, it's catnip for us.
Yeah.
You know?
It really is. I mean, we're obviously not the only ones. The French love cheese. They're just not fat for some reason.
Well, they eat, like, actual cheeses. We eat cheese product.
Food. Yeah, cheese food. Yeah, and for me, I try to stay away from that. Like, even in the American cheese that I buy for my little, turkey sandwiches, I try to stick with stuff that's like at least fairly cheese. I'm pretty sure. Singles.
I'm pretty sure that the United States of America leads the way in cheese that comes out of a can.
Oh yeah.
If your cheese comes out of a can, you're probably not a good person.
Yeah, it's not good for you. So I do enjoy my cheeses. I don't get into the stinky stuff or the weird cheese.
Same.
I know a lot of people like blue cheese. I can't do it. And that kind of falls back to the mushrooms thing, like the mold and stuff like that. Like
I like blue cheese as a dressing and only for wings.
Okay.
That's the only time I'll ever have it. But otherwise, ew, what are you doing?
I stick with ranch. Give me the Hidden Valley.
I saw a documentary of how they make different types of cheese in different areas, and they had this one where it was like a 70-pound block of cheese, and when they cut it open, like all this milk gushed out, and everyone's like, ooh, and I'm looking at it like, ew.
Yeah. I want my cheese solid.
Yeah, yeah. And they're just like, look at these cultures. And I'm like, it's not, you didn't cheese it yet. Like, it's not done cheesing.
Yeah. I
can't
do that.
And then the ones where they let it sit for like 20 years.
Right.
No. Quit it.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah, I don't want to chip my tooth on it. Like, I like the fake Parmesan in a can, I guess. A little bit on my spaghetti, but otherwise, like, Parmesan cheese doesn't do it for me because it's just like eating wood.
Right.
What about deep frying? Yeah, me too. I feel the exact same. You can deep fry. No, I take that back. I was gonna say you could deep fry anything, but like there are certain things I won't. Like if you go to the fair and you get like the deep fried Oreos, I'm not a fan.
I love deep fried Oreos.
I can't do it.
I would do deep fried Oreos, deep fried ice cream, deep fried pickles. Hell, you can give me a hobo's toothbrush deep fried and I would probably still eat it because it's deep fried. It's so good. And it also comes down to how you're deep frying it, what oil you're using, what kind of batter you're using. There's a multitude of factors.
Yeah.
But I'll eat pretty much anything that's deep fried.
Yeah, one thing that sticks out to me that like you don't usually think of first when you think of deep fried though, but Thanksgiving, turkey. A lot of people don't Thanksgiving, the deep fried turkeys on Thanksgiving.
I've always wanted to try one.
Oh, you haven't tried it?
I have not tried
it's
one.
It's really, like you would assume it would be dry. Mm-hmm. You think like obviously as big as this thing is, the outside would have to be like.
Well, I would figure it was either going to be A, overcooked, or B, just perfect. There's no in between.
Yeah, no, I've had it and it is really good.
The only experience I've ever seen is whenever Alton Brown did an episode of Good Eats on deep fried turkeys. I don't know if you ever saw it.
I never saw that.
Yeah, he set it up in his yard. He set a ladder over top of it and lowered it down with a pulley, and he sat on a chair like 20, 30 feet away.
That stuff's dangerous, dude.
Yeah, it's horrifically dangerous.
They don't thaw it out and it explodes.
Yeah,
like hot oil everywhere.
I like the idea of it, but if you need to start, planning safety precautions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I won't deep fry a turkey. I'll just eat a deep fried turkey.
How about this? If any of our listeners are making a deep fried turkey this year for Thanksgiving, I will come and be your best friend.
Yeah.
You can rent me for an afternoon from Bruce from being his best friend.
I'll gladly eat your food.
Exactly. And I think, we're also open to food sponsorships. If any, restaurants want to sponsor us, we will talk your food up and down if you give us free food. God.
We're really just the hose of the podcast world.
Pretty much. We'll do anything for our sugar daddies.
Literally.
Whoa. Well then.
The candy bar. But anyways, so I'm gonna skip one of these. One was junk food, but like everybody knows why everybody loves junk food. But crazy sweet food you wrote down, and I thought that was kind of intriguing because, and it doesn't just apply to food, like beverages as well. You get things like ultra sweet Southern style iced teas and stuff like I can't go to McDonald's and get a sweet tea. It's too sucrosy. Like it's like,
absolutely.
It's like chemical sweet for me. Like I can't do it.
But I don't think I'm pretty sure that the world doesn't make the supply of sugar that these people need for their sweet tea.
Yeah, and I think it really, like, I can't imagine it has a good effect on your taste buds. Like, I think after a while you're just like, it's like a cokehead, you gotta have more, you gotta have more sugar. I think, that's why so many people have diabetes and things of that nature. So
if I spend like a week, let's say, binging water.
Yeah.
And then I decide I want to have like a cherry Pepsi. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like overwhelming.
Yeah. It's a shock to your system. Like your body's like, hey, whoa, buddy. Yeah, like, you're gonna need to take a step backwards and hit yourself really hard with a brick. It's one of those, you just can't do it. I think that America abuses sugar.
Oh yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that we're the most sugary country on the entire planet.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'd like to see some numbers on it, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like all the, corn syrups and things of that nature.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily like you're looking for foods that have sugar. Now you're looking for foods that don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, like look at all the juice brands out there where they're just like, no added sugar, half the sugar of the other companies. Like, if you're to that point where you have to back off the sugar, like, you're the ones that got it up there in the first place.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, I know the consumers are the ones that, you know, you drink it, you like it, you want more, but it's pretty ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to wrap this up, guys. It's not going to be too much longer, but there's a few things I have to hit. Very, very important spots. I'm going to skip a few things here. Best restaurants is one spot that you wrote down here, and this is one where I actually had some difficulty with. As far as fast food goes, I mean, I like the bastardized versions of authentic foods. Like, I like Taco Bell. Guilty pleasure. I like Taco Bell. Oh my God,
Taco Bell is the best.
Yeah.
11 p.m., $20. Oh, that's a good time.
It's not even that much. Like, I can go to Taco Bell and spend like $7 and walk away like portly. You know, like I am well fed. It's amazing how cheap that food is.
Oh yeah, you can do it for $7, but I spend 20.
My favorite fast food restaurant, and it's funny, like, my favorite restaurants in general always depend on their proximity to me, but in the exact opposite way you would expect. The closer they are to me, the less they're likely to be on the list. Mm-hmm. So my favorite fast food restaurant right now, because there isn't one around here, is Five Guys.
I love Five Guys.
Yeah, like I absolutely and I love, for those that don't know, or maybe there's not one near them, it's just burgers and fries. Like, that's what they do. Like, I think they have hot dogs on the menu and they've never sold one because nobody's gonna skip getting a hamburger.
Yeah, pretty much. I think they also have like a veggie burger.
Yeah.
Like what's the point?
They don't even have one there. They don't have one on site. If somebody's like, hey, I'd like a veggie burger, they're like, okay, what do you want on your regular burger? Because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But really, really great food. Just fantastic fast food. But that's pretty much the extent of me. Are there any fast food restaurants that stick out in your mind?
Well, number one, definitely going to be Five Guys as well. Mm-hmm. Just for the fact, when you order a small fry.
Oh my God, yes, I didn't think to say that.
Yeah, like, it's not a small fry. It's a small truckload of fries.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. The first time I ever ate at one, I was warned by the guy, and I think it's just normal that you don't ever heed the warning, but the guy's like, oh, what are you getting? I'm like, oh, I want a double cheeseburger, blah, blah, blah. I want a large fry. I'm really hungry. And he's like, no, you should really get the small fry. And I'm like, get out of here with that. And you're right. It's like, they have the little cup that it comes in, but it's not like, okay, if I get a small fry, I get that small cup full of fries.
They put the cup in the bag and then dump every potato ever made in the entire year into that bag.
I swear the cups are that's the scoop they use. Like, I want a medium fry. They take the medium cup and give you 6 scoops of fries.
Yeah, it's like, I want a small scoop for my fries.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So you go there and you order a double cheeseburger and a small fry, and you get like the world's greatest hamburger and 17 potatoes.
But other than Five Guys, the only one that I can really think of, I've never actually been to the restaurant.
Okay.
Just for the fact that they're not local to us. I think the closest one's in Ohio.
Okay.
White Castle.
Oh.
They make those White Castle hamburgers and cheeseburgers.
Yeah, little sliders.
Yeah, that are in a little box. You buy 6 of them.
Oh yeah, at the grocery store.
Yeah, at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I think that they're so good.
Really, for being like...
Oh yeah, but they're not good for you. you get 6 of them, they're 300 calories a piece.
You know, I've always wanted to... I've never been either. I've always wanted to go to a White Castle, but I was told by folks that had enjoyed it that, like, there's that initial novelty of it, but like once you get past the I've never had it, now I'm having it aspect, that it kind of wears off, and you're like, oh, this isn't really that good. Like, I've heard a lot of people claim that it's actually not that great.
Well, like, anytime that I go through the grocery store and I go through the frozen foods, I'm like, oh my God, there's my cousin burgers. I'm gonna get me a burger. You know, I make 6 of them at a time.
Yeah.
You know, I think they offer like a party pack where you can buy 30 of them at the restaurant.
Good night.
And if I ever go to a White Castle, I swear that is what I'm going to order. I don't care if it's $50. I don't care. Yeah. That's what I'm ordering. In a Diet Coke.
I kind of wish I had taken the opportunity. I was actually in New Jersey a number of years ago, and it was part of the plan. I was actually in Atlantic City of all places. Not that I gamble, but I was just there for a conference. And it was my intention to stop, at a White Castle while I was there, but I was so focused on not being in New Jersey that I missed out on I kind of forgot to go,
right.
So I never had the chance to go back. But I don't know. One of these days I'll have to. You guys will have to let us know.
No, the problem with New Jersey is when you go to New Jersey, the only thing you can think of is leaving New Jersey.
It really is. It's quite accurate. If we have any listeners in New Jersey, I am so sorry for you, but not for what I
send me your address. I'll mail you $5 to help you get out of that godforsaken place.
What about sit down restaurants? Where are you at on that?
For sit down, I don't know. Like the problem that I have is we're so sheltered. There's not a lot of places that I can, list off that, viewers overseas. By the way, shout out to our Japan listeners. Woohoo! Yeah, we have a couple.
Really?
Yeah, we don't speak Japanese, but maybe they like the tone of our voice. I don't know. But anyhow,
soothing.
There are, a couple local places that I absolutely adore. We have a local Mexican restaurant. It's called Rio Grande. That I think it's so good.
Yeah, we were just there a couple weeks ago, I think. Yeah.
We
hang out all the time, by the way.
Yeah, us getting together, to do a podcast every week, I think this is, the 9th time we've seen each other in the last 5 days.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I see you more than my kid, and that's saying something.
It's possible.
But anyhow, getting back onto it, there's just so many local places that I love and adore, but not a lot of people are going to understand because, once again, I don't like to travel. I don't have time to travel. I don't have money to travel. I'm fat and broke,
Yeah.
My idea of a good time is sleeping in. Yeah. Oh, God, I love sleep.
For me, for the dinner thing, I'm in the same boat as you. It's really going to be hard for me to kind of bring this to the audience, but almost every really good sit-down meal I've had has not been at a franchise or a chain or anything like that. Like you go to Applebee's for consistency. Every time you go to Applebee's, the chicken tenders are the same chicken tenders. You can pretty much guarantee that you can figure out a meal that you're going to like.
A McDouble's a McDouble.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So and there are restaurants of that style that I definitely appreciate and enjoy and I go to. Some more than others. But for me, the major it's always been not to rip on Guy Fieri or Fieri, however you want to say it, but the diners, the drive-ins, and the dives, those places that he goes and talks up and everything with his flaming shirt, which I like him, by the way. But
I think he's a great guy. If I ever meet you, Guy, I want to give you a high five.
Yeah,
just saying.
And you're gonna have to explain to me how to say your last name. But anyways, those are my favorite places. Those are the places I've had great, there was a place, what was it, Nashville one time, and I ate this amazing place. I had a really good, joint in Ohio of all places. I didn't even know they had food in Ohio. That place is so boring, but I grabbed some really good meals in Ohio.
Sorry, Ohio listeners.
Yeah, well,
we're very sorry, but your state sucks.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
not as much as New Jersey. But you're working on it.
You're right there.
So for me, there's no I love name this restaurant. Nobody will know. And I don't know. It's just
it comes down to the style, your mom and pop restaurants.
Right. That's exactly it. Yeah.
The ones that, without this restaurant, their lives would have no meaning, that kind of deal.
And you can taste it in their food.
Exactly.
You can taste that, of course I don't want I want to be able to taste that you're struggling financially.
Yeah,
but about to foreclose your house.
But if I walk into a restaurant and it's dimly lit and it's grungy and I see the Pepsi or the Coca-Cola board up on the wall.
Oh, the little push on
with the little push on letters.
Yeah.
I start rubbing my hands together it's going to be good. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, there was a really good Tex-Mex place which I hope he's opening back up. This guy has had his restaurant in a couple different places around here called A Place to Eat. Did you ever get a chance to eat?
I never got a chance to actually eat it.
The dude that made it there, his name's Chris. Fantastic. Really, really good.
Open to sponsorships.
Amazing food. I'm hoping he gets his restaurant going again. I think he's trying to find a new location or whatnot. But it's stuff like that.
Well, he was right there in Frostburg, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And he was in, LaVale.
He was there next to the mattress store. It was a combination.
Yeah. It was this tiny. I went in there once, and I was reluctant. I had to be forced. A really good friend of mine's you got to try this place. He's ignore the fact that it's a shed built onto the side of a mattress store, and you walk in, and the guy had 6 seats in his restaurant. There was no room. It was this teeny tiny little restaurant. And I'm like, all right, here we go. And it was so good. And like, those are my favorite restaurants. They're the ones that's like, it's not chain. You can't see if the one in Vermont tastes like the one in Oklahoma.
Right.
It's, you gotta go and you gotta visit these people and kind of learn their story and enjoy their cuisine.
Yeah, I'm the same kind of way. It has to be, that style.
Yeah. So the last big question, before we wrap this up here, what do you consider to be the most important meal of the day?
Breakfast.
Okay.
Just for the fact that I could eat breakfast food any time of the day.
Yeah.
But when I would get up in the morning, I'm getting up pretty darn early. I'm usually going to bed, I hate to say it, but usually about 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I set my alarm to go off 4:30. When I wake up, I'm ready to punch the alarm clock. Like I'm sick to my stomach, my head's pounding, like I feel like I'm I have a hangover. No, it's just called adulthood. But anyhow, I don't feel good when I wake up. Mm-hmm. After I eat, I feel better.
Okay.
I think that's probably why I weigh the amount that I do.
Right. That kind of comes back to my answer for that. I agree also with breakfast, but I have an issue with the timing. I have a really difficult time with 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
For me, the ideal, like whenever I'm not at work, so I don't have to eat first thing in the morning or skip breakfast, I prefer like a brunch and then like a early dinner, like 5 p.m. and I'm good. I don't need anything else.
Well, that's how I usually end up. Like, I'm usually getting up, I'm running late, I get to work, like, oh god, I forgot my lunch. Well, it looks like it's going to be a long day. And then I get home, make dinner for the little one and everything like that. And guess what? That's what I have for the entire day.
Yeah.
But it's one ginormous meal. Yeah. Like, I'm getting my calories, and boy, you better believe it.
Yeah, you gotta pack it in there.
I call it my father figure.
Huh. Yeah, there you go.
We entirely forgot to go about.
Oh crap! We have a new segment, and we didn't do the new segment. Crap.
Well, we're going to do our new segment. Woo!
Yes, we're going to end with the new segment. It's supposed to be in the middle of it. I'm going to let you take it away.
Anyhow, we're doing a new segment called "That's a Fact," where every single week we're going to bring you a new fact. Whoa, we're geniuses! No one has ever done this before. You're giving me a blank stare.
Well, I don't know when to pause for there's going to be a theme song, I hope. So,
you ready for the theme song? Here it is.
That's a fact.
And that was our theme song.
Isn't it terrible? I love it. Oh, so much fun.
All right, so throw the fact at us.
Okay. There is only one letter that doesn't appear in the name of any state. The letter Q.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah. I've never been to Kentucky.
Yeah. Bet you there's people that pronounce it like that too. I prepared a backup, and this is one to kind of, I guess, think upon. In the last 5 minutes, the Earth has traveled over 5,000 miles. But here's my question. Is it 5,000 miles around the sun? Is it 5,000 miles in the Milky Way galaxy, spinning around in, our local solar system? Are we comparing it to where we're at in the local group? There's so many different ways. Think about it. Ooh.
So any nerds listening, if you want to clarify that for us, we would appreciate it.
Absolutely. I want to do a space episode one time.
We might need to.
I think a space episode would be just, I love space. Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he's my homie.
Well, we might do that, but in the meantime, because we are going to wrap this up,
my God, we're an hour and 20 minutes into this.
Yeah, we've been chit-chatting for a while.
Yeah, we love food.
Yeah, well, it's only appropriate that the food episode is this much longer.
Exactly.
But so thanks for tuning in. This has been Stuff Among Other Things, and I'll let you send us out.
Tune in to us next week where we take you to the movies.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce.
I'm Nick.
And this has been Stuff Among Other Things.
Peace.